What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast, where we talk about any and everything. Personal, old snaps and claps. It's a dang good day to talk about a few things. So let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast. I am honored and so grateful to have this special young lady, the super guest on today, Miss Lucinda Marie. How are you today?
I am doing very well. Blessed, highly favored, and thankful for the invitation. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You're more than welcome. I'm so grateful to have you on here on the Morning Jam podcast. I want to get started because this interview is just, I'm really excited because I have some, just some questions that I need to ask you and learn about who you are as a woman and a woman of God and a singer, songwriter, and a musician. So let's get to it. So tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and where you're from.
I actually live in California, the San Francisco Bay Area. I am a recent divorcee of a pastor here in the Bay Area. For 36 years. I have 3 children who are doing really well, live in Los Angeles. Yeah. I'm a principal of 3 schools in Oakland, TK through 12 Academy, and I'm looking to retire in a couple of weeks. So that model, musician, music, been singing since I was a young child. Yeah. And stayed in school long enough to get my PhD and am happy to be in service of children, especially in East Oakland.
Absolutely. I noticed that you're a well-rounded, educated woman of God, and I just love that. When I saw your bio and your singing, your music, and everything, and where you're from, and you're actually from I forgot, Austin, Texas, right? You're originally from Austin?
Yes, my family roots, both of my parents were born and raised in Austin, Texas. My family's in Austin. I'm a Southern girl by nature. We were there's 6 of siblings. We're part of a military family. And my father and mother moved us back and forth from Texas to California. I just happen to be a California girl. I have siblings in Texas, though.
Absolutely. So I wanted to ask you, really, are you a Cowboys fan? You got to say.
I root for the Cowboys and the 49ers. I have 2 sons.
Oh, no.
And my 2 sons, they choose a team, and I have to root for both of them.
That's all right.
I have a lot of friends in Georgia, though, who root for the Cowboys.
Absolutely. I get it. They kind of stressing me out this weekend. So,
I've been really teasing Tony D about the Cowboys this week.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Tony D is a huge Cowboys fan. So am I. So I've been a huge fan of them forever. But I want to take it back just a little bit to where you started as a young, being young in the industry of singing and all that. So what age did you start singing actually?
I get asked this question a lot, but most people don't believe it. My mother raised 6 children. And again, because we were a military family, most of the individuals we hung around were my siblings. My father and mother were pastors. And so we started singing as soon as we could talk. Mm-hmm. My sisters and I began to sing when we were around 2 or 3. And my brothers, because they came behind us, started singing a little bit later. But I've been singing for a very long time.
That's awesome. Awesome. And in that singing, did you ever think okay, let me just take a break from singing just a little bit?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I did. When I started having children and when my ex-husband opened the church, we began to open a ministry. Mm-hmm. And that's really what led me to starting to write these songs is I had taken a break from that. And then after the separation, God said, there's something else I need you to do. So I need you to go back and get that and write these songs down. And that's what I did.
That's awesome. Awesome. So if you don't mind us diving into that, you say you're married and everything. And with that being a first lady. So can you dive in on what happened there just a little bit?
Well, I found out my husband was seeing other people. Mm-hmm. Because I have a daughter and because I am a role model for other Black women, Absolutely. I had to decide whether or not being a part of something that was what I consider non-ministry, something I wanted to sit under. And so after real great prayer and great consultation with church leaders, I decided that I needed to move in a direction that was pleasing to God.
Right.
And although very difficult, still struggling with it, can't say I'm over it. God is still using it to build me. I have been able to open doors to speak to women around what to do and how to do, so that when you or if you have to exit a situation like that, you do it in a way that is pleasing not only to God, but also to the church. And so, yes, it's been devastating to my family, devastating to our church ministry, but to God be the glory, because
Right.
had it not been for those struggles in our lives that we go through, we would not have a testimony. And so I thank God that I'm able to minister in this.
Yeah. That's awesome. I see we have the same hairstyle almost.
I was noticing that too. I actually just didn't really do a whole bunch with mine this morning, so I hope it.
Absolutely. So how long has that been since the divorce and now? How long has that been?
That's a great question. I was married 36 years. I've been divorced 1, but separated for 3.
Okay.
So
awesome.
a total in and out of probably 4 years that I have been separated from the ministry, in that I no longer carry the title of First Lady, but I walk as if I am one.
Absolutely.
And we all should.
Oh, absolutely. I do agree with that. And I see that you carry it with so much grace and so much humbleness. I love your appearance and how you even presented. And when you came on, I was like, ooh, I love this. When you see something so fresh and so new, you go, oh, okay, wow. That's how it was for me when I seen you come on. So thank you for even keeping that humbleness and that boldness and that growth. Because that's what it is. It's a process of growth and just really learning from your experience in the past. So in that, how long do you, like you said, you're kind of still going through it now. So what process are you taking to like strengthen Lucinda up from that?
I think that is another really great question for listeners who are going through something similar for me. I've always walked with the attitude that you can't have me and 3, right? And I've also, if being honest and frank, God said to me after I separated from my husband, do all that you can. And then when a door opens, you walk through it. And he asked me, can I be obedient? And so, yes, we want our marriages to work. Yes, we want our families to stay connected.
Right.
But shortly after I recognized that was not going to work, that's when I saw God's hand step in. And he started feeding me in terms of strength and sustenance. And he had me go out and do some things for myself that I had never done before to build myself up, because, after that, it's pretty traumatic and you're emotionally driven. But God allowed me some time separated from that so that he could speak to me. And it was in that I started to heal.
Oh, wow. That's really powerful. I love that. So can you tell me like one thing out of that made you strongest the most out of the healing process? Something that you did like.
I bought a house in the country.
Okay.
I am about 30 minutes from, or 30, 40 minutes away from the city. And I live on a lake, and through walking and listening, I think I have cleared a lot of noise. And I'm better able to hear what God is saying to me, especially in those times of needs when our cups are empty and we're really searching for something. Affirmations during the day have also been extremely powerful for me. I have them all over my mirror in my bathroom so that when I get up, I say them to myself and I share them with people who are going through similar experiences. But God has given me a place of peace, which is what I asked for. And in that place of peace, he has met every need.
So how do we as women, when we experience things like that, request God to give us that peace? Because I know a lot of times we walk around, we feel like we can carry the world. And how do we reach down? I say reach down because that's the thing for me. I have to reach into Crystal and be like, Crystal, you're very emotional. Crystal, you can be selfish. Crystal, you need some help in that area. So how do we reach and really ask God for that peace of mind?
Well, I think at some point we all reach the end of ourselves. And I think I had gotten to the end of myself. Once you get to that place where you completely emptied yourself out, that's when God can take up residence. And as I've shared with many women before, I certainly am not the only woman who has decided that this kind of married life is not for me. What I would say, though, is if there is a woman who is experiencing this, it is not the end. It is not the end. And I know a lot of us feel like it's over. I can't go on. But I encourage women all the time. Once you said, you know what, I can't, I just can't. I mean, go back to I just really can't do this. God steps in with the plan.
Right,
and he already had prepared for you before the foundation of the world. It's like, okay. So the title of my book is On the Other Side of Through. When we get to the other side of through, like we still, he promised to take us through the valley. But on the other side is where we find that peace that surpasses all understanding.
I feel a lot of time like we as women, we forget about that God promised us so much. And we're so talented as women and so gifted. And so, because we can, sometimes we as women, we can carry the world because God has equipped us with that. But then sometimes we forget that God has gifted us with that ability. And then we tend to bow down to the hurt, the struggle, the anxiety, the stress, depression and all of that. Did it ever come to you like, okay, I'm depressed at this moment out of those years? I'm so stressed. I need help. Did it come?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it was out of that depression that the first song that I released was created. I was arguing with God. Lucinda can argue now. And I was arguing with God and I said to him, and if you listen to the song, I Become, it is questions I'm asking him. It's like, how do I move forward through these dark times in my life? How do I pray for someone when I can't see the light? And you know what his answer was?
What was that?
What's next? Become what's next. It's already there for you. Keep moving forward and become what's next. And so again, any encouragement to your listeners or anyone who is struggling with depression, God is saying he understands where you are. Get up, move forward, and become what is next for you. I had no idea I was going to release a second song that would get to the top of the charts, the internet chart. No idea while I was going through, but God knew. And it was about getting to the other side of through.
Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I want to move the conversation on to like your song that you have now, Open the Windows of Heaven. Because I know in the midst of that, we always say, oh, God, I need you to open the windows of heaven. Just pour it all over me here because I need it. So where did that title, the song and the words come from?
I was asking God for something. I have a son who is special needs, and I was asking God for something.
Oh, yeah.
While going through all of this. He's 29. He lives on his own. God has really blessed him. He's doing well. But I had asked God for something. And God said, if you believe, I will open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing. He said, that's a song. Write it down. And what's so interesting about this song is it doesn't really have a verse. And I thought, well, God, is there something else you want me to share through this song? He said, no.
Yeah.
If you can have the faith, the size of a mustard seed, I will open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing. And so when I took this song to my producer, and what we typically do is I record myself singing it and he puts music to it. He said, this song has the potential of being longer than 5 minutes. I said, no, we have to keep it under 3.5. And so we just jumped to the meat. I heard someone describe this song as the meat. There's no fluff. We are just praising him for doing exactly what he said he'd do, which is open up the windows of heaven.
It does. It has like that. I love the drive that you have in it, because if you don't get with that drive, you're going to be like catching yourself going. You're going to be catching yourself. Okay, I'm bobbing, got the steering wheel, because that's what I was doing. I was like, okay, I got this. So it is. I love the song. I love the words. And it definitely encouraged me. Like, God, I need you to open up the windows of heaven right now and pour whatever you have for me down for me. Everybody always requests, God, I open it up and pour that money, pour that. But we really need other things than money. I know we need money to, survive, but there's other things too. So we need God, his spirit and his love. For me, I feel like love, it covers all things.
Things.
Yes. It exceeds all things. I'm just that type of woman.
Well, you are preaching right now. I'm gonna be quiet. Your word is being spoke with authority, so somebody needs to hear that.
Yeah.
But you are absolutely right. There are so many more things out in this world that we currently live in that people need. And yes, money satisfies, but it's not everything.
Yeah, it's not the answer to everything.
It's not the answer to everything. Peace that surpasses all understanding is invaluable. And a lot of people right now don't have that, but I'm seeking peace.
Yeah.
I'm seeking peace.
I love that. And for me too, I'm seeking that peace. And I'm one to, because I always consider myself one that's full of energy and, just I love to talk. And sometimes I have to learn. I'm learning now, Lucinda, Pastor, First Lady. I'm learning to down that energy, because everybody can't handle the energy that I have. Everybody can't. So I have to really kind of calm it down. I'm not giving it away. I'm just kind of like, I need to just lower it just a little bit.
I don't know that I agree 100% with that. I think we find ourselves as women, I have a PhD in my job. They call me Dr. Taylor all day. And I certainly could move into an environment where I step back a little bit, but there are too many Black girls that need to see you speaking up, speaking forward, standing up, moving forward, doing you, talking. And they're not seen or perceived as mad Black women. They're someone who has something to say. So I say to you, just because I'm hearing this, there's no time for you, baby, to dial yourself back. In fact, I would plug it in and turn it up so that God can get the full breadth and depth of who he wants you to become.
Right. I don't want to make this about me because it's about you.
Oh, I just thought I'd say that. Share that with you.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you. I so appreciate that, because I take any type of encouragement, any inspiration, all of that towards me, because I feel that everybody have a light that God has placed in our heart, in our body, in our mind, that we definitely have to share it. We are that light that sit up on the hill that no man can dim, shut, break, unless God allows it. And he's the one that can do it, and no one else can. I see that you are such an educated Black powerful woman. And that's what there's so much education here. So was there a time like, okay, Lucinda, talking to you, I got to get educated. I got to get all of this to make me happy, to even help others. How did all of this come about? Because you have a PhD, like you said, in that. So tell us about it.
I think that originally the drive came from my mother, who had 4 girls first. And she said to us, it doesn't matter if you marry or not, you need to be able to take care of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And so she drove her four girls into the educational environment so that we could actually be in a position to take care of ourselves. Had I known that this would come full circle for me, like, would I be able to take care of myself if I had not gone to school? You know, that kind of thing. Yes. I think my original undergrad was in communications. I was a news reporter in the Bay Area for years.
Oh, wow.
And then I started having children. And I could not commit to 24/7 on call. And a lot of people say, oh, I recognized you from television. It's like, yeah, I was the person standing in the rain on the freeway at 3:00 in the morning because I had to work. And so then I decided to take a break from media and volunteered at my children's school. And someone walked into a classroom where I was supporting reading and said, you should be a teacher. It's like, I never thought about that. So then I go back to school and get a teaching credential, and I become a teacher. I taught 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I taught choir in school. I had an award-winning choir. And then I decided to go back and get my master's. And then because I wanted to go into public administration, I went back and got my PhD in educational leadership. So that's enough about that.
That's amazing. So I definitely love how you love to help people, because when I was reading, it says a portion of your proceeds from the sales of your single will support Lucinda's nonprofit organization supporting current and former first ladies.
Yeah,
that need to start over and become. I love that.
Yes, there are a lot of us out here. Yeah. A lot of people don't know there are a lot of first ladies or former first ladies who are struggling with this same I'm not going to call it a burden. I'm going to actually call it a lesson. There are lots of us. And I have already poured into a number of women who had to start over. You lose your home, you lose your church, you lose your connections, and you have to start over. And so some of this money, actually most of it, has gone in support of women who have been through a similar experience.
That's awesome. So have you connected with so many women at this time during the process of this? So how has that been for you?
Hearing other people's stories, hearing how other people have migrated through this difficult time, makes you not feel alone. I think the feeling of isolation really does drive someone's trauma or depression. And so just the mere fact that you are not alone, there's someone out there who's experiencing what you experience and have gone through what you've gone through. And just hearing that has been healing. I've gone to speak at women's conferences where a lot of women have asked me, how did you get this far? And I said, by faith. Yeah. Because it is not of Lucinda. If it were up to Lucinda, she'd still be under the covers crying with the covers pulled over. But God said, get up, move forward, become what's next.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I so appreciate you, Miss Lucinda Marie, for being with me and just sharing your story and your testimony. It's just amazing. I love when I meet women of God and really strong, bold and beautiful Black women that's out here making it and know how to support one another. We're already, I would say, against the odds or against things that we already, people already hate on us because, we are all that in some. So I just love that you're out here doing it and just making the world a better place. Because I want to know right now, how would you describe or kind of like help someone right now that's facing that? What would you say, even for them to listen to your music and feel like, okay, I have got to reach Miss Lucinda and let her know that this is where I am and I'm needing to get where she's at? What would you say to them?
That I heard a probably 2-year-old give some of the best advice I've heard in some time. And ironically, I found this little girl on TikTok. She said, don't let your sadness stop you from reaching your happiness. And for a 2-year-old to be able to recite that,
absolutely,
and pull that from somewhere, for me is extremely eye-opening. Happiness is a feeling. Joy comes from our God. But if we allow sadness to steal our happiness,
Yeah.
then we can't see joy. And so any woman out there who is looking to be connected to someone who has gone through or is going through something similar, you can find me on the web. My email address is there. I'm happy to reach out. My music is about how I have migrated through my husband's cheating, and how I have come to this point to recognize that God is even using that.
Right.
I remember a time when I couldn't talk about it. There was so much shame associated with it. And God uses us at our weakest moments to do some of our greatest things.
Yeah.
And, I live by the mantra that no weapon that is formed against me shall prosper. And if you believe that the way that I do, you will get to the other side.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. I so appreciate you. And you said that you have a book. So let the people know where they can connect with you to get your book.
So it's going to be released this year. It's actually at the publisher now. And again, we'll update the website where you can find all of that information, LucindaMarieMusic.com, and find all of the information coming up.
So tell us the name of the book as well.
On the Other Side of Through.
Oh, wow. That's really powerful too. Like the title, like that's really powerful. I love it. I know for me, I'm going to have to talk to you off cameras as well.
Now we sisters now. We sisters. We look alike. We got our hair alike. We like to talk. Sisters.
Yes. I love it. So, I know we connected with Tony D, C Stage. Thank you, Tony D, for reaching out, connecting me with artists. I appreciate you. So are you with C Stage? So tell us, how did you connect with them?
He has been my promoter for years, and actually now almost 2 years. Tony D, when I released I Become a year and a half ago, he reached out to me, said, do you need a promoter for this song? I love this song. I love this vibe. I said, sure. He said, then you need to connect with C Stage. It's like, okay, I can do that in Napster. And so since that initial meeting, we have been working together. So he's actually supported the second song as well, and has been a real, I think, friend in this music industry, because you really have to find people you trust.
Yes.
And he's trustworthy.
Absolutely. We definitely love Tony D. Appreciate you, Tony D. Can't forget to add that. So I see that you're number one currently on the gospel internet radio chart. Open Up Windows of Heaven is. So congratulations on that. And I cannot wait. I want updates on your book. We'll have to come back and I have to get the book and we'll have to talk about it right here on the Morning Jam podcast, and just connect with other women on that. And I'm sure it's going to be really great. And I look forward to reconnecting and reading your book too. So right here, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Okay. So once again, tell the people where they can find you and connect with Miss Lucinda Marie.
So my website is found at LucindaMarieMusic.com. You can find me on Facebook at Lucinda Taylor. You can find me on Twitter at Lucinda Marie Music. And you can find me on Instagram at Lucinda Marie Music.
Awesome. Thank you. You guys know where you can reach Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast. You can connect with me on Facebook, IG. Those are the two main platforms I'm on. Also at WadeWorksStudios. Listen, I'm here on Thursdays recording. So you guys connect and just connect with me. You can send me an email at crystalawhitaker81@gmail.com. And listen, comment on the podcast and let me know what you think. Connect with me. If you have amazing artists like Miss Lucinda Marie that I can put on here, connect with me, guys. So much love to you, Miss Lucinda. I can't wait till we talk on the phone. And again, we out of here. Peace out. Thank you. Much love.
Much love. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. If you enjoyed this podcast, tune in each week on thinkingoutloudnetwork.com. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share with your friends and family. Until next time, peace.